Okay. Afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world, everyone. I'm your host, Drake, along with my co-host this week, Shrukin. Actus is still on vacation, hanging out, doing his own thing. So, this week we have Azer, also known as the Sparky God of challenges. We would like to know how you started CR, sir.
I first started playing Clash of Clans, and then when Clash Royale was released, I heard about it, and I wasn't too hyped to start a new game at first, but then it started growing in popularity, and I decided to, try, and it was really addictive. So I kind of just picked up from there and kept going, and couldn't really get off the roller coaster. So I'm now here. Yeah,
Aren't we all? Yeah, I feel
yeah.
like I'm on that kind of same lane. I just got started almost 2 years ago, but it's been fun.
It has.
It's been a fun time. Okay, so our first thing, since you're such a good challenge person, how can bad players get 12 wins in any sort of challenge? I've had some friends talk to me like, I'm okay at the game, but once I get to about 9 or 10 wins, that's when the good players get on and I just lose. How can you beat these better players, or how can you work on getting 12 wins?
Well, I think one important thing to keep in mind is the nature of challenges is very different to ladder, because people always will have the limit card levels, if that makes sense. Like tournament standard is very easy to reach. And so people will be able to more easily exploit the more overpowered cards because there won't be a paywall lock behind that.
Like Cannon Cart?
Yeah, exactly. So what that causes is a very fast meta shift. So
like a new deck shows up and it... Okay.
Yeah. So for example, like if the Valkyrie became really overpowered, in my opinion, and that made everybody, even Lava Hound decks, it included Valkyrie in it. And I think it's really important, especially in the Grand Challenge, that you're very flexible. Like you can pick up on a very quick meta change, which usually happens like every week in a Grand Challenge, and you're able to sort of adapt your deck to sort of play around the current Grand Challenge meta. That's the first part. So I have about a pool of around 6 decks, and I normally handpick the best deck for the current meta. And at the moment, that would be Lava Loon, because Royal Hogs are in meta, as well as Cannon Cart, and Valkyrie can handle all of that really well. But there's not a lot of air defense. People normally play around the Royal Hogs, Mega Knights, Giants, Golems, but they don't really think about Lava Hound. So that's why I picked that one. And another thing for Grand Challenges is I also think you should just be familiar with only a couple decks. I wouldn't just pick up on any random deck and expect to get 12 with it. You sort of have to really know what you're doing with your deck. But
you
it's not as
have
hard
some
as
experience with it first.
Yeah, experience is really important. Yeah.
So, would you suggest, if you're free to play enough players, so maybe you bought some emotes, or maybe you got a gift card once, or you spent a little bit of money, whatever, would you suggest saving up to do a GC or doing several CCs instead?
Well, it depends on your success. If you're a 6 to 8 win Grand Challenge player, then I don't recommend it. But if you're really good at Grand Challenges, then yes, because it actually saves
9 to 12.
Yeah, it saves 10 times the amount of time, and it also gives you plus 10% return for the same amount of wins. So it's actually more efficient overall. But if you're not getting the amount of wins you would in a classic, then no, it's not worth it.
Okay. So also, if you're just not doing well in either, and you're just you're a good enough ladder player, would you just stick to that? Or I need to practice a little bit, I'll go do a CC. Or I need a little bit extra gold, go do Grand Challenge, whatever. Is that how you kind of look on challenges, or is it a different way?
Well, you can always practice on classic challenges. I mean, 10 gems isn't a lot. You can save for it in a week, I think. So
I think 10 gems is a few days.
Yeah, a few days. It's not hard to enter a classic. So it's pretty good to practice on classics. But I think the most valuable practice is doing friendly battles with moderate players, maybe 4.3k players, because you actually bump into a lot of 4.3k players in Grand Challenges near the beginning, especially. So
if you can beat them early on and get better.
Yeah, exactly. If you can consistently beat 4.3k players, you'll find that reaching those upper wins in a grand challenge is actually not that bad.
Okay. Shuriken, do you have any input on this? Or do you have any different opinions?
In challenges, I think more people should just start saving up on grand challenges more better, because grand challenges give out way better rewards.
Okay. So yeah, GCs are obviously better, but also I feel like as if GCs are or not, I'll say both. Like GCs and CCs are kind of just like an afterthought, to be honest. Like you have the main ladder, and then you have well, what if people don't like ladder, like 2v2? Here, let's add challenges. That might work. Like, how do you think about it? Just like, should they devote some attention to it, or should they just leave it alone for now?
Well, honestly, from the competitive scene, like in my clan, they don't only look at like your ladder positioning, they also look at the amount of wins you have, if it's 20, 12, and they also look at the amount of cards you've won. So it's definitely a good indicator of skill, not only just your ladder ranking.
Mm-hmm.
But
because anyone
of, like,
can max a ladder deck.
Yeah, anyone can max a ladder deck. But
Yeah.
with challenges, getting 20 wins is definitely a symbol of skill, as well as when you have a lot of cards won, it shows that you've had a lot of practice with certain deck archetypes. And
Okay.
yeah, and it also shows that normally you would be getting higher wins because you would be able to, achieve higher amounts of cards that way more rapidly, especially because the amount of cards you gain is exponential with the wins. So yeah.
So I have a twofold question after we finish up for this one. How do you feel about the weekly challenges? Like they get the 20 wins, you get a certain amount of cards or whatever. That one. And then second off, I'm going to have a question of like an idea I've been in the works on for a new kind of challenge. Let's start with the first one though. How do you feel about these new like 20 win challenges or 6-win challenges? You just go and you just win. You can't loses don't matter.
Oh, I actually like that. A lot of people dislike it, but personally, I like having a bit of fun, just like testing things out, and not necessarily having to be punished for a loss. The rewards they shouldn't be very big in a challenge like this, because you should keep in mind that everybody is going to be achieving all the rewards, and
if they have the time.
and if everybody achieves those rewards and they're actually big rewards, then the inflation in those cards are going to be huge. So I believe people aren't keeping in mind that, like, in regular challenges, the average amount of wins a player gets is around 3. But in this type of challenge, everybody's going to be getting all the max rewards if they just put in the time to complete it. So yeah. I think the rewards are balanced.
Yeah, the rewards are definitely balanced. Yeah. I have the feeling that I find this to be too much of a chore. Like, oh, you only get these things for, I don't know, like 2 hours or after or so. Is this really worth it? Versus like a 6-win challenge, you can't lose. You get much smaller rewards. Oh, this is like a 30-minute, maybe an hour thing if I don't do as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I look at it from a time investment standpoint.
I guess some people have different preferences. Like maybe somebody would prefer playing for fun and just like devoting time, but not really thinking too hard about how to win games. And some
just
people would
like
prefer,
playing.
Yeah, and some people would probably prefer the competitive and challenging aspect of, like a 20-win
like the CRL challenge.
Yeah, exactly, like that. But I think it's good that they cycle through different challenges because it appeals to all the audiences. Yeah,
I gotcha. Okay, so my second part, is my own kind of like challenge thing I've been coming up with my head. So you get 3 losses as any normal tournament. However, there's no max amount of wins. And the gold you get per win is 10. The card you get per win is 1. So 1 win, 10 gold, 1 card. It moves up from there exponentially. How would you feel this would work? Of course, this would only be like a once-a-time day or something else like that.
Well, my first impression is going to be how the hell are the people on the top of this going to find an opponent? Because I remember when I was doing the 20-win challenge, it took me like a minute to find somebody up there. If I was at like 30 or 40, it'd probably take an hour or something. But But apart from that, I think it would be one of the best indicators of skill in the game. I mean, I can't imagine how far the top players could go, and I'd like to see
Oh,
it.
like 50 wins easy.
Yeah,
Like
I
that's
think
why
it
I
would.
kind of like thought about it.
I think it would help if there was a matchmaking algorithm where if you had 20 or more wins, it would just pull you with anyone up there, and it didn't really matter how many wins you had from there because everybody there was pretty
Oh
good.
yeah,
Anyway.
like they would have to have an algorithm of some sort. I would know which one or how it would work. But like I kind of thought this out well. For free-to-play players on like ladder or something, this would be a great way to like the good free-to-play players could get to that 20 wins. And another thing that would work is that the wins would stay over. So I'm like, hey, on my pros account, I have like 50, 60 wins. Oh, you're a really good player for this challenge. I see this. Like it would be a more defined level of how good each player is versus I have 15 wins, I have 16 wins. You're like, you're kind of okay, but you're not the best or etc.
I don't think pretty much anyone is going to go above 30 though, because there's
Okay.
the reason why I say that is because you have to keep in mind that I think it was only 0.002% of the players that entered the 20 win challenge actually got to 20 wins.
Got 20 wins, yeah.
Yeah, and above 20, it's only going to get smaller and smaller until eventually it's going to be like 1 in 10 million people that actually reach 30 wins probably. And it's going to get way too difficult.
Okay, I gotcha. So like maybe it'd be a different kind of setup, or every week they would have it set up a little bit differently. I don't know. It's just a personal idea I've been working on. Do you have any
Honestly,
opinions on this, Shuriken? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Honestly, I think it would be interesting to see how far people could go above 20. I mean, that would be the best indicator of skill I've seen. So I'd like to see that.
Like that was my initial impression. How do you feel about this, Shuriken?
The 21 challenge skill cap. Or
No, for my challenge idea. Or have you been lagging out and not been able to do things
I've been
again?
lagging out a lot.
You need to get that fixed at some point. It's okay. You'll be fine. Okay, Azer.
No, I'm not.
What exactly defines a good player in your book?
A good player. Well, the first thing I look at the challenge wins. If I see 20 wins, that automatically indicates a really good player, a solid player. I can also look at the amount of cards they've won in a challenge. If they've won maybe 150,000 or more, I can see a lot of experience. I can see a person that's dedicated a lot of time and amount of games into learning different decks. But in terms of the gameplay itself, what skills I look for in a good player is I look one at knowing when to commit on the offense. So maybe when the card rotation is out of cycle or the elixir of your opponent is low, a good player would know exactly the moment to make an offensive move and punish them for their mistake.
Yeah.
So that would be the
like
first thing I look at.
Go on.
No, it's okay. You can go.
Okay, like I played quite a few games against you, and every single time it's a hard counter. It's just like the worst feeling. I think I've beaten you twice or so, but even then, just like
good players also, when they look at the opponent, they look at the opponent's strengths and weaknesses. So they look at, what's the most threatening thing I can expect from my opponent? Is it Expo?
Okay.
If it is, I should probably run like a giant deck, right?
Yeah, got him.
Exactly. You want to hit him where it hurts. So
you got me.
Yeah.
You figured me out.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Like Giant's a fine matchup for Expo. I'll be playing Expo till the day I die. My only free to play deck. But anyway, just like, is there any special thing you would like to do to change up challenges or make them slightly different?
Actually, I really want to see a challenge for 1,000 gems. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like grand challenges now, especially at the beginning, you can expect to see fairly low players, but I really want to see how a challenge for only the top players would play out. I want to see what exactly people can do to get 12
So
wins. in the
almost like
challenge
a
like that.
almost like a bracket challenge.
Exactly, yeah.
Like almost like only these specific people, only the good players can play
Yeah.
for a specific reward. So it'd almost be like a little mini event.
Like the ultimate challenge. I'd like to see something like that. Classic.
Okay, so like
grand.
only
Yeah.
a certain amount of win players or something could play this. It would check you for your stats. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be nice. 1,000
Actually,
gems
kinda-
and maybe like a barrier, some sort of requirement needed to enter that. Maybe 20 wins. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like no, like I'd be thinking like maybe 15, 18, something around that range.
Okay. Yeah.
'Cause,
I like
like-
that.
Like I'm a 13 win player. I haven't had time to commit to like doing the CRL challenges or any of that. Like, but I'm pretty sure like if it were to happen again, I could get to like 18. It's just a matter of like when they make it and if I can dedicate time to it. And you just be
Yeah,
over here, look at
definitely.
me, I got 20 wins. And I'd be over here, I have 0. But
Yeah.
honestly, like you're a really good player. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I'm
Just-
blushing.
Blushing on the inside.
Yes.
But anyways, let's continue from this train of thought. What other Here, I'm gonna put it this way. What kind of changes as a whole that could they make to challenges? Like we've been asking for like a tournament revamp. Do you think that challenges like need any sort of revamp or they're fine where they're at?
Oh, I think challenges are fine where they're at. Honestly,
Okay.
what I like about challenges, in contrary to ladder, is in ladder you get punished instantly for a loss, so you actually move down the rankings for one loss. But in challenges, they give you 3 goes and then you're out, and I like that because people, they end up in bad matchups. They might make one mistake, but I don't think having to.
They weren't thinking correctly.
Yeah, exactly. But I think having 3 chances is a lot more lenient, especially towards the better players,
Mhm.
because better players
Like
can.
maybe they had to go like their kid was pulling at them or they had to go get groceries or whatever happened.
Yeah.
Like life happens.
Yeah.
Like we all have life happen.
But what I like about challenges is you have 3 goes to go for the top. But in ladder you don't get 3 goes. It's the go you have right now. And if you mess up what you're doing, then you're just gonna have to try again and try again. And it really gets frustrating if you make one mistake and
Yeah, I gotcha. I've been on that point. Like, I was doing well, and then I'm not doing so well anymore. Let's just put it that way. But I had a friend who wanted to ask you about the CRL challenge events. Like, how often do you think they should happen? Or if they do happen, like, how often should these events occur? And what should the rewards and/or expectations be for these events?
What I think for the CRL challenge is they should be twice a year, but the 20 win challenge should be once a year.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
I think the 20 win challenge should only be for the entry of the challenge, because that indicates whether or not you're worthy to participate in that event. But for especially for the 2v2 event, for example, that's to sort of celebrate the fact that CRL is starting. And I don't think a 20 win challenge should be that. I think instead it should be something more representative of the event itself. And I actually think the 2v2 challenge did a great job of that, because it's something different to CRL, and I like to see it in the challenge as well.
Okay. So unfortunately, Shuriken had to leave early. So it's just gonna be you and me for the rest of this little bit. So, are there any questions you want to ask me? Like I'm totally up for a little Q&A about myself. Or if not, we can just continue.
What do you think about the state of Expo and challenges? Have you had a lot
State
of
of
success
Expo and challenges.
with that?
Okay, let's put it this way. The new big old counter to Expo is Cannon Cart. It's the easiest way to put it. Cannon Cart makes you, or forces you actually, to lose Elixir to counter it, which Golem players and/or Giant players, or whatever deck they're playing, capitalize on. That's how they work. So you have to be extremely defensive the immediate second that the game starts. It's like, okay, you walk into a room, oh, it's filled up with all these guys who are better than you. Like you walk into a pro room, here's Jack, Tag, Surgical Goblin, Botchum, whatever. Like, oh, these are all better players than me. I have to defend till my life. Like that's how you have to think about it. But otherwise, Expo is still my personal favorite, as I'm super biased, and it is, in my opinion, the best punishing deck. If they make a mistake, you take a tower and you can defend the rest of the game. And good Expo players will win or draw. I don't do that. I lose all the time. I'm not a good Expo player, but I realize I can do better, and that's good enough for me.
I know that when I lose a tower to an Expo player and they play defensively, it's like trying to break a titanium wall with my bare hands.
Oh, yeah. It's just like they went into full turtle mode, I call it. They put their head inside the shell. They're not coming out.
Yeah.
Like, it is extremely difficult to beat that kind of push, especially if you have a good level Valk. Like, I'm using Knight because he's a common, not a rare. But if I had like a level 10 Valk on ladder, easy games all of my life. Oh, that's my... Valk just needs to be nerfed. Just please nerf Valk. That's all I want. Anyways, we're getting to the end of it. Since Shuriken had to leave, it's just you and me. Either you can go in first, give me whatever deck you feel like. Make it good, bad, do whatever you feel like. Don't make me use Golem Expo, please.
I'll make you play. I'll probably make you play Giant Sparky.
Ooh,
I'm feeling it.
Butter. I got you. Oh, the Sparky. Oh, you're getting a level 1 rage here, just so you know. Never upgrading rage in my life. Is it the Wizard and Minion Horde Dark Prince one?
Yeah, that one.
Or is it a different one?
That's that one. You got it right. I can send you the deck list if you want.
Oh yeah, that works. As for me, how about... Ooh, I know what all the pros play. Here, I'll get it made and I'll send it over to you in a second. Just so you know, you're going to love this. You're going to adore this.
God.
Here.
This is not
It's going to be your favorite. There's that one. Okay, then where is it? There you are. This is what every good player plays. Okay, you sent me it?
Yeah, I sent you the deck.
Okay, you sent me the deck? I'm going to send you the deck. You ready for that? Oh, I didn't send... No, bad. Go back. There we go. Okay, I don't think you're ready for this.
I don't think so.
Share it as a link. Discord. There we go. See if we can find you. Azer, where are you? Here, I think this is just... Yes. If we can copy this as a link. Maybe. There we are. How do you feel about this? Oh, you just took a screenshot. There you go. You ready for this?
Take a look.
Okay, so here's what I have to work with first. Rage, Minion Horde, Wizard Giant, Dark Prince Sparky, Goblin Gang, Elixir Collector. This is your deck. This is the deck your favorite. As for you, what do you have, sir?
Oh boy, I have Minions, I have Valkyrie, I have Ice Spirit, Fire Spirits, Elite Barbs, the most OP card in the game.
Oh, yes, please.
Fireball, Rage, and Log.
And?
Yikes. Did I miss something?
You Valk? Or your favorite push, Valk E-Barbs. I don't think they can win.
I don't even think I have E-Barbs on my account. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, cool. Yeah, got
Anyways, I appreciate you coming on to this today, Azer. I wish Shuriken could have been more active, but he's been having some mic problems and Wi-Fi issues recently. So, otherwise, anything else you would like to ask or comments?
No, I
Anything?
think that's it. I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Azer, for being on. And that'll
No
do it for this
problem.
week.
Thanks for having me.
I'm your host, Drake. Shuriken here's in spirit, so is Agnes. And we have our guest, Azer. I appreciate you all being here. See you guys later.